Don't paint the values. Look, you know me, I'm a big believer that values are important. They're inherent to producing a piece of art that is believable, that it looks realistic, it pops off paper, yada yada. However, values are not everything. And what you sometimes want to do is expand your horizons in understanding of what you can use to create a beautiful, interesting impression. And I'm inspired to show you. So I have this mix here. It's kind of a gray, okay? And I'm going to paint the back of this Jeep. So look, that window at the back, I would say it goes like this. This goes down like that. This goes all the way to the tire. Don't be threatened by the element of not sketching here. That's not even the main point. You can paint very inaccurate now. I'm fine. And in fact, I'll probably paint very inaccurate. What I'm trying to show you is how much interest and variety you can get without really caring that much about values. So look, I'm going to paint that tire here at the back. My colors even aren't that accurate, you see? But what you'll start to notice is that things happen on paper and an impression is created and interest is created even when we keep all our washes kind of light. Okay, so this is the lower part of that Jeep. And look, let's leave a highlight here on the tire, right? There's a bit of a highlight there. And kind of go like this. And it is true that to some extent we're interpreting things in black and white because I avoided some areas, but I'm going to show you, okay? The goal here is not to achieve realism. It's not to paint something that's good. The goal here is to show you and to train you to see interest in things other than value. So we have colors to our advantage. We have edges to our advantage. So look at this beautiful edge work here. I'm just coming back a couple of times with my brush and kind of helping the paint move a bit, see? And if you really want to stop it, you just dry your brush completely on this piece of paper towel and then you kind of lift and you will pause the paint from moving. Now under this we have a black, so let's just go with the same gray from earlier. Right, so we'll do this kind of a thing. I'm not even accurate again. And look, I'm not going heavy here on the values. I'm just painting things. I'm just painting shapes of color. This goes down here. There's a couple of details. Look at how easy and fun this is when you don't have to quickly mix and make sure it's dark enough and shift the value. It's very common for myself, by the way, too, to teach the power of values by ditching colors. And it is true that not mixing a color makes it faster and easier to paint stuff. So you have less to worry about. However, how about we do the other thing, the opposite of that? How about we, instead of ditch color, ditch values? So now you don't have to take a long time to mix a very dark value to fill in this area, right? You just kind of paint it. And how about we throw accuracy to the wind completely and not even care about the colors? The colors don't have to be accurate. So we have this cast shadow, and look, we have this nice little bit of piece of foliage here to the right. So let's go for like a bit of I'll add a bit of blue, I'll add a bit of a yellow here, and we'll kind of go at it, you know. Here's this hedge, right? And it has no real accurate value. It has no value, actually. It's just kind of a light paint, you know. And funny enough, as we get to the ground, we have this beautiful brown color for the, whatever this is. It's like dirt or something. I'm going to place that in here. Now look, you can create an interesting impression just like that, without being worried about the entire element of how dark something is, how light something is, okay? And I can just let kind of the painting speak for itself, you know? I'll just keep adding to this thing here. Here's a window, and we're gonna go back to the red because the side and front here are quite red. Let's make the red more vibrant, because vibrancy of color is something we can kind of alternate. So this is more gray. Let's go here on the front with a bit stronger red. So it's going to go like this, just to show, you know, maybe it's more exposed to the light. Why not? That's a thing we can play around with, you know. We're really not limited here. And then the very front of this Jeep also has a bit of brown, whatever, a mix of colors. Front, tire, body of the car, you know. That's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. You want to blue it up, because we can, if it's more in the distance, we can go more neutral here. So let's actually blue this area up. And you know what? We have another car here at the front that's kind of another maybe Jeep. So let's add a bit of or a 4x4. I don't know what you call these, It's just a four-wheel thing, right? So this is the back. And you know what? Here's the tail light of that car. And you know what? Here's the bottom of that car. Let's add a bit of ultramarine here just to celebrate different colors, and a bit of cobalt here, and a bit of white. Why not? Just for fun. I love adding white to random areas. Okay, so we have this white here. We have the bottom of the car. We have the tire and another tire. And you know what? A lot of it is kind of light. So I'm just going to add this window in and kind of stop there, you see? And then we have a blue car, so why not? Let's add more blue, just to make this not a gray, but a blue. And this entire car is kind of in the shadow, so I could just kind of paint the whole thing in. See, and I'm not even making the best use of colors here. I'm just kind of going for it, but you could play around with the vibrancy. You could add a bit of phthalo blue to make it really a more vibrant of a blue, a more exotic kind of blue, a more kind of emeraldy kind of blue. You see here? So that's another car. Now, you know what? What if we decide that there's a big shadow on the ground, as we see here, like a big cast shadow? So let me add a bit of violet and a bit of white. And let's see if we can paint this shadow on the ground. So this is a shadow on the ground. It reaches all the cars pretty much. There's some gaps in it, just for fun. We can put in some gaps, not as a value change, but just for the fun of having variety of shapes. Okay, now, well, the parts that don't have the shadow are kind of warm. So how about we play up that warmth and contrast it with our shadow? So here is the areas that are warm, you see? And you can get so much down on paper just by treating it like different colors. So let's put this wall here behind this car, whatever it is, there's some buildings, there's some, and you know what? I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop right here. You could, if you want, to take it to the next level and start getting in some more details in. You could start bringing in, some more specific shapes. You could start bringing in shadows inside and treat this like an underpainting if you want to. Like any other painting, you'd start with an underwash. Or you could just pause now, not add anything else. I'm going to add some rough elements to it just to have a nice variety of edges. Honestly, it's the only purpose, really. And we have this building here, and then the bottom of the building is a little more kind of milky. And then on top of that, if you want to add some value, yeah, sure, why not? Here we have a palm tree, let's say, right? It's kind of a shape. Want to make it really a palm tree, add some warmth, make the base like actually, see what I mean? You can get so much done with pure colors, just colors, no values. You can create an interesting impression. And just like painting in black and white, this has the beautiful, huge benefit of just narrowing your focus down. Just making it so that you can focus on a single, more specific element of the painting. And if you choose to later on, you can decide developing it, right? And start adding some small touches of details or big touches of detail. Honestly, you can, get away with it. Anything here. Now, I do feel like I want to sign this one. So how about we sign it here in the wet area? I'll just sign my first name. There you go, Liron. See? What a fun way to paint. What a fun, freeing way to paint. You have everything here. You have edges, you have shapes, you have saturation of color, right? This is a bit more neutral. This is a bit more vibrant. You have grays. There's a lot to play with. Values are not the end-all, be-all. They're just a really strong tool, okay? If you want to be able to paint like this with complete freedom and courage, check out the frustration-free watercolor course. Now, some of you I know are like, yeah, colors come easy to me. And yes, you exist. This breed of people exists. I'm not one of them. Colors come easy to me. I need to improve my values. I never go dark enough. I never get that realistic impression. Check out the Watercolor Realism course. I'm going to put a link below. A lot of you have joined the frustration-free watercolor course, but haven't joined the Watercolor Realism course. So check that out. And if you want something more involved, if you want weekly live demos by me, if you want to, 2026, make your watercolor journey so much easy. Watercolor does not have to be a struggle. You're going to have a super easy time. Join the Watercolor Breakthrough Club. Let me and the community help you step by step to improve your results. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. By the way, huge thanks to everyone who supports me over on Patreon. If you want credits at the end of the videos, that's how you get them. Okay? So put in $1 a month. Just become a part of the Patreon group. And that's that. You get some exclusive demos, some other perks. But mostly it's just for super kind people who want to support my work, just as a thank you. So I really appreciate that. We'll see you in the next vid. Till next time, take care.